Hi, I'm sure all of you have heard about the recent eruption of the Haley volcano after being dormant for 10,000 years on November 23rd, 2025. As a light worker and an intuitive energy healer, I'm always fascinated by the thought of studying the symbolism of such events. So today I'm here to share my perspective on this eruption and its impact on each and every one of us. Human beings are as tiny as a speck of dust when compared to the entire universe. Every wind, every tide, every planetary shift impacts us in ways that we're still continuing to study, research, and figure out. The mystery behind astronomy and its influence on humanity has continued to be an area of study since the time of the Babylonians in 1000 BC, and yet a lot of it continues to remain mysterious. It is fascinating to examine the symbolic significance of a volcano. To me, it represents all that which has been buried within us for lifetimes. All those samskaras or psychological imprints that have been lying dormant within us, that live within us through lifetime after lifetime, and manifest as your mind's tendencies, impulses, dispositions throughout one's life, essentially shaping our life, relationships, patterns, behavior, and overall personality. In my years of practice, both as a seeker and as a facilitator to all my students and clients who come to me for deep spiritual alchemy, I've observed that each one of us receive repeated gentle reminders and opportunities in life to work on all these patterns and samskaras. Sometimes it'll be triggered through a tough conversation with a colleague or a rift with a loved one, or perhaps your physical health or the inability to start a family. It could be anything. It is some unrest that leads to the churning within, which eventually allows for all that which is pent up to surface and make room for something new to be born. However, with the eruption of a volcano, such as the Haley, which has remained dormant for about 10,000 years, the volcano itself has gone through its own purging, a purging of the samskaras and all of what it has carried and buried for 10,000 long years. What does this do to us humans? Well, it's hard to just brush it off as an incident in isolation that has no bearing on all incarnate beings on this planet. And as I said, if we are affected by eclipses, the new moon, full moon, times when other planets go retrograde, and so on, why would this be any different? So don't listen to me, observe for yourself. How have the last few days and the run up to the eruption on November 23rd been for you? Have you been feeling triggered? Have old issues that you thought you had dealt with resurfaced? Have relationships been more fiery than usual? Have you experienced conflict and friction both within yourself and with others? Has any or all of this been sudden, unexplained, out of the blue, or strangely unexplainable? If you said yes to any of the above questions, listen to this. The sudden eruption of this volcano and of this magnitude has resulted in a spontaneous and similar eruption within each one of us, especially those who are on a path of awakening, self work, seeking alignment with the higher self, higher purpose, and working to heal one's own shadows and imprints to become a better, higher version of themselves. So know that you are not alone in this fire, in this purging. The embers you feel in your body are part of a collective awakening. We are all part of a larger collective that is rising and awakening together and simultaneously, yet at its own pace. This is the uniqueness, the gift and power of incarnating as a human being. While it may feel far from pleasurable, even unwanted, deep down inside, you know that you asked for this. You're on this path to rising and awakening, and the universe is rigged in your favor. Because when you chose to be a butterfly, you may not have known that the journey of metamorphosis From the caterpillar to the butterfly includes the most important and painful phase of chrysalis, when the butterfly unfolds its wings and emerges from the cocoon. We as humanity too have been lying dormant, slowly but consistently evolving within the cocoon of life, and the time of awakening and emerging from the chrysalis, from the dark, has arrived, with the wheels of time turning from 2025 to 2026, when each one of you who is on the path of rising and awakening to your own inner light will begin to fly.